Hey, happy Friday, happy Friday. This is probably not going to be a short one, but I'm going to try to fly through it at a clip. I'm going to ask you to be patient for the first minute or so. If you're one of those people that gets mad that I don't get to the point right away, just put it on double speed or skip ahead a little bit so you don't have like an aneurysm. But yeah, first thing I want to do, it's going to take a little bit of time, is I just want to alert the family that we're all up on here. And I'm going to try to go through everything in as fast a clip as possible because it's a lot of stuff. And I hope um, I want to be done in an hour. I'm hoping to be done in an hour. Okay. Okay. So first things first, let me tell the people online that we are here. Gonna go to Twitter. For people who are in the room now, great thing you can do while we're waiting to get started, go comment, like, subscribe, and share. Go to your social medias, tell them we're gonna talk about the Don Lemon thing, let them know we're gonna do that. Please just let them know that. Much appreciated. And we're gonna continue some stuff from last night or whatever. Yeah, we're gonna continue some stuff from last night, but also that as well. That as well. So give me a second. Give me a second. Tweeting to people that we are on right now. We are streaming live. Openly Black and we're probably going to revisit this because I have a couple of guests that I want to talk to you about this. It's very comical, but at the same time, I didn't have a chance to get them on short notice. But how many people in the room know about this already? It's a pretty interesting and funny thing. It's about Don Lemon and being called openly black in this article and the type of crazy status anxiety it set off by so many people. Very weird. Weird. It's something to behold. Okay, let me just announce to the room. Okay, so I think it's all the announcements. Yeah, so tweet this on your social medias. Let people know we're on here. Put it on your Facebook, your Twitter, or whatever. Also, if you're on Twitch, host this on your Twitch channel. That's all good, you know. But anyway, this is what happened. It's pretty funny. Um, uh, I'll put it up right now. Just hit the ground running. But this is it. I think this guy who wrote it is a white liberal. I'm not sure if he's a white liberal or if he's a black person that could pass for white. I'm not sure exactly, but his name is Tommy Christopher. He looks white to me. I don't want to assume on people's race because I know there's an author, Adam Serwer, who can pass for white, but he is very adamant about identifying as black, and he has black descent. So I don't want to accidentally erase somebody's identity, but this is the article. It's a little bit. Of course, this thing is frozen. A lot of these media sites are so spammy. The worst one is Daily Mail. Let me refresh the site and see if that cures the problem. But yeah, it's pretty frozen. Is my whole computer frozen? No, the rest of it works. Okay, so I'm trying to scroll up on this thing. But it's basically You are missing out on fuckery on Clubhouse, but that's basically it. It was very promising when oh here we go. It's moving now. This is one of those sites that's full of ads, and they force you to turn off their ad blocker to get on the site. This is what I hate. A lot of these sites, they force you to turn off your ad blocker to search them, but then they're unable to be navigated because there's always like a million things loading in the background and a million cookies and all this stuff. Like, if you want people to sit through your ads and you're basically strong arming them to sit through your ads, and like fix your crap. Like I get it, you don't want to be denied your money or whatever, and you want to get money for the service you provide. But I mean, so basically, just to scroll up to this thing is gonna take forever. Let me see what I can do. I can close out some windows or something and speed this thing up. Sorry about this, people. It's just taking. Okay, let me try something else. Let me close this window out altogether and just open a brand new window. Maybe it'll open better. Okay, so seems to have worked better that way. So let me see. Yeah, so someone said they saw the hashtag openly black, and you're right. That's what this is about. And here it goes. Yeah, I saw openly black after having not been on social media for a couple of days. I was completely lost. Uh, Basically, this is the story. It's by a guy called Tommy Christopher. Crap, it's happening again. This thing will not scroll. Hmm. Okay, so basically, this guy was talking about how something that Don Lemon said, which I didn't think was that bad. It was a typical liberal trying to downplay how bad white supremacy is, and he was mad at Don Lemon for calling Trump supporters Nazis. Yeah, so that's what he was mad about. He was upset about it, and he wanted that he wanted that I guess contextualized, and he called in the process Don Lemon openly black, and a lot of the blue checks, a lot of the Wakandans went crazy, like they lost their shit. But the thing that was interesting to me, right, is that I agree was a dumb thing. I agree it was a dumb thing to write. Like I totally agree it was a dumb thing to write. But the extent to which they took it to is really, really weird. And it says so much about them. It says a lot about them. And I wanted to talk about it. And I think it kind of connects to what happened yesterday too. In that one that we did yesterday. The one we did yesterday was kind of touching on this. But let's see if this thing is playing now. So still says it's loading stupid ads. Like on the bottom, it's like, listing all these cookies that are loading. These people should be ashamed of themselves. Got me out here looking crazy. Uh, hmm. I'm just gonna keep closing out windows and see if that somehow helps it load faster. Okay, I have another solution. Maybe this will do it. Oh, this is yeah. I give up. So basically, there was a passage about him being openly black. That's hey Kamari, how's it going? Yeah, I tried to put it in reader mode. It doesn't work. It just has a million things on the bottom. You know that status bar, loading this cookie, loading that cookie. It won't let anything happen on the site. It just freezes up with bugs and yeah, it's like this thing is like a white Bossip. You ever go like sites like Bossip and Media Takeout? Like a lot of these white sites are becoming that too, where they're just loaded up with spam and spyware and ads, and then they won't let you even block the thing. So now I'm put in a position where I gotta kind of paraphrase, unfortunately. But yeah, they got really upset. They got really worked up. Oh, here's something else I can do. I can look up on Twitter and try to find someone who screen capped it. I think that's probably the best way the best way to do it. So let's do that. Okay. So that worked. So let's put it up now. Someone said use uBlock, but the problem with uBlock though, right? Will the website detect it? Because it's not about the ad block being bad, it's the website requiring me to turn off the ad block. Yeah, this is exactly the same thing. Openly black is the same as when they say unapologetically black, and that's what kind of triggered them. Yes, with Jer Bear, um, oh, outline.com. I thought they closed that site down because for some reason it never works anymore when I try to use it. I used to love that site. It's a way to get past paywalls. It's a very good site. But hey, Lamin Sane, how's it going? It's morning for you, not for me, but I'll wish you good morning anyway. So this is it. This is the excerpt. Colleague Chris Cuomo was trying to argue, devil's advocate style, that not all Trump voters should be lumped in with the racial insurrectionists who attacked the Capitol last week. Now, what you hear is, well, you can't say that everybody who voted for Trump is like the people who went into the Capitol. Response, Cuomo said. Lemon, who is openly black, responded by telling Cuomo that, quote, if you are on that side, you need to think about the side you are on. I'm never on the side of the Klan. I am never principled people, conservative or liberal, never on the Klan side. Principled people, conservative or liberal, never on the Nazi side. And basically everybody forgot about the rest of the article. Nobody cared. Something about openly black really set them off. And I'll even show you now. If you look at the comments, so I search openly black, and I'm not cherry picking. These are the top tweets that came up when you put openly black. But if you notice, they're all blue checks. What is openly black? You should never refer to someone as openly black. Uh, and they're not all black blue checks. So other types of blue checks too. And I found it very interesting. A lot of blue checks of color had similar, I think, anxieties that black blue checks have. So they tend to find a lot of the similar authenticity and honorary white and status anxieties that the black blue checks have. So they all, so if you just keep looking, I'm going to scroll through Karen Natia. We talk about her a lot. But yeah, it just keeps going through. But a lot of oh, this is the one who runs Strong Black Lead in Netflix. We talked about it the other day. Um here's a non-black POC who's being an ally. I'm here as an ally for my black friends, those who happen to be openly black and those who are clandestinely black, whatever. Sincerely, your consistently brown friend who happens to be openly Muslim, Jonathan Capehart, who never cares about black issues. This is something about him. Openly black since 1967, openly gay since 1987, openly not putting up with nonsense since forever. Hashtag just so y'all know, CC Don Lemon. Yeah, so if you just keep going down, it's a lot of these people are really, really worked up over this. And blue checks, wanted checks, all these people just going on on and on. And this is a very weird scene. This is us right now, ironically enough. Yeah, so especially like black liberals, especially the Wakanda types, they're very, very worked up about this thing. And it's all every single blue check, it's like the blue check signal went up, the Wakanda symbol went up in the sky, you know? I remember the day I came out as black and whatever. And here's the thing. I'm not saying it's not a stupid thing to write or whatever. It is stupid, but there's something weird about how this just sent all of them up in arms. And we were on Clubhouse. It's still going on, but there was a I too am openly black room, and it's just full of these types of Wakandans in there doing the same thing. They 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 were going nuts, and they're in that room. And if you go in the room, they're taking it everywhere. They're talking about, and this is what to me this really is. This is I was supposed to be one of the special ones, but they keep reminding me that I'm black. This is a case. This is not what they say. This is my paraphrasing. I think this is what it all boils down to. I think this is what they projected into it and what triggered them. Right? I mean, they went a lot of weird places with it, but I think it all sums up with this is mistaken identity. I'm supposed to be I was supposed to be recognized as black excellence slash honorary white, and they just see me as black, not black excellence, not honorary white, just black or worse, nigger. That's what it comes to. So people were telling all these stories that I think were a lot to read into that stupid line that I think betrays a lot of what their concerns are more than what was happening in that article. We're telling stories about, yeah, I wear a nice suit and the cops still give me a hard time, or I work as hard as my white compatriots, and you know they just keep doing microaggressions, or they ask me stupid questions about my hair and all these different things. And what it reminded me of was when let me see if I could even find it. This might be a good thing to put up. What it reminds me of was when Donald Trump said, "What do you have to lose, black people? Your neighborhoods are this, X, Y, and Z." And these people got triggered in a very similar way, but they didn't even try to rebut him as far as, no, black people aren't living that way. They tried to rebut it more like, well, we don't live that way. Don't lump all us black people in there. Like they felt personally indicted. So like Angela Ryan went on CNN and she's saying, I got plenty of black friends. We're all doctors. We're all um, lawyers. We live well. And it's like that doesn't have anything to do with his point, really. That's not really what he's talking about. He's kind of right, unfortunately, about how, as a whole, most black people are living. You know, it's the truth. But we said in the past how these people take everything that's happened to black people on the ground and end up making it about their own personal class strivings and the frustration of their class strivings. They simply can't help themselves. Even if it starts out as a complaint about that, they end up making it about that. About Oscar. So okay, I think I found it. So let's put it up. I'm gonna cue it up. I'm gonna find the actual. Mm, yeah, I'm having trouble finding it. It doesn't matter. You get the point. Let me see who's up in here. Yeah, I have 3 degrees from the Ivies, and I am being treated like a lowly black person from the projects. They are mad that the boomer black folks taught them to aim for the talented tent goals, but it isn't going to fix their weird internal conflicts. Yeah, totally. If you're on Clubhouse, for people who are not on Clubhouse, if you become a patron of the show, we'll send you the invite. But I gotta warn you, it's become a hot mess. The only thing it's good for is field research, because at this point now, the main thing that's the main positive about it, the signal to noise ratio sucks, but it's great for being a fly in the wall and having like a lot of your worst fears confirmed. Yeah, it was a call to arm for the respectable blacks. Yeah, I love this. They have a hair trigger for outrage, a hair trigger for pointless outrage. Like Joe Biden saying all that shit on the Senate floor over and over about black people as a whole and the black community. They didn't care. They didn't find that reflecting on them. You know, they swept that under the carpet easy. They were like, hey, Joe, the only thing they saw in that was a way to leverage work for themselves. Like, hey, Joe, what you said was kind of messed up. You should hire some of us untalented tent types. That'll make it better, you know, because they didn't feel insulted in that. They felt that was very clearly toward the wrong kind of black and not them. Like they took that as a clear shot against the kind of black person they never fear being mistaken for. So they don't have a hair trigger for outrage. They have a hair trigger for a very specific outrage that activates their authenticity anxiety, their status and class anxiety, you know, their fear of mistaken identity, being mistaken for black people, their fear of being attached to the social death that comes with the construct of blackness. It was a real thing, and I think it still is if you know what to do. Like I found some interesting people on Clubhouse who helped me with YouTube, taught me cameras to buy, gave me tips. I've booked some guests off of there, but it's not gonna be. I mean, a lot of it is just people listening to themselves talk, and the average room time for black people there has gone really ridiculous. Like there's so many people just doing these time wasting rooms 12, 16, 18 hours, and I'm thinking this thing is going to be the worst thing to hit the black community, I think, since K-pop. It's really um I don't know, there's people on there all day, and I think what's happening there a lot on Clubhouse is what I really think is happening. And the first like 3 or 4 weeks I really liked it, and I think it still has value, but you have to use it with intentionality and be careful. Like don't just use it mindlessly. There is a lot of re-traumatizing going on Clubhouse, because what's happened is um it was very curated, but it keeps getting expanded, and you can see it growing in real time. Especially a lot of like Tumblr/Twitter types are going on there, and they're making these rooms where it's like group therapy, but there's no therapist. So anybody who's taking real therapy, I actually had an experience where I went to therapy, and my therapist did something careless, and in this moment, you know, but he's a great therapist, but it was just a moment where he pushed me in a sensitive moment a little bit too far and miscalibrated, and that thing like low-key re-traumatized me. I didn't realize that it did it until he pointed out to me the next time. He made an apology. He's like, you know, um i think I might have done something that was you know, irresponsible. I apologize for that. I didn't realize that the moment that I took you to was that traumatizing, and then I think I hit you with an insight that you weren't ready for. But this was crazy. How that came up is I came into the therapy room the next time, and I said, "Doctor, you know what's strange? I can't remember the last session. Isn't that crazy?" And then he kind of basically told me that. He said, "Well, you know, between me and you, I think this is what happened, and I think that's why your mind kind of blocked out the session." And that was a kind of mind blowing. I was like, "Holy shit!" And he's like, "Yeah, your mind does that. Your mind does that all the time now." I mean, he said, "Your mind does that all the time. Like your mind can just give you all types of little amnesias, right?" But yeah, this is it. The The bedrooms are basically infinite now. They rotate mods so they can take breaks, sleep, and go to work. Yeah, they do shifts as, but sometimes not even then. Sometimes I see people. I I don't think they even do shifts. Honestly, sometimes I see people in the room the whole time. Like I'll sleep, go to work, whatever, and I'll go in. I'll see this room's still going on. The person's still there, and I'm thinking the same thing. Oh, they must have rotated these people out. These people have to be rotated out. There's no way they're there this whole time. But I heard people in rooms talk, and they'll say stuff like, "Yeah, I was, I do these great rooms. And I was doing this room, and you know, the room was great. It went 12 hours, and he just said it really casually, and no one else in the room said anything. Like, dude, you got a problem? 12 hours? Everyone acted like it was normal, and that was a scary part to me because anybody on a single person basis can say or do something crazy. That's not anything. I mean, to me, the scary part is when someone does something crazy or says something crazy, and the other people don't bat an eyelash. That's when you always know that there's some kind of problem going on. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think it might be COVID. And I'm wondering, like, when people have to go back to the office, what's going to happen to these people? Like, I think that's how it says. Like, the worst thing that hit the black community since K-pop and crack. It's. I think a lot of people are going to be. It hit at a perfect time where people are vulnerable, so they're going to get addicted. Um, Yeah, a lot of them are on there the whole time. Don't be fooled. I don't know if you know for a fact that they're rotating, and I think some do, or if you're like me and you assume that they're rotating. But I've heard a lot of people saying, that they will be on the whole 12-hour time or 14-hour time moderating the room, and moderating there is draining. Yeah, I think this might be real. I think it might be closed forever. I don't think it's gonna be closed forever. Eventually, it's gonna come back. I think forever is too strong a word, but I think it's going to be longer than people think. I will say that. Yeah, I've heard people brag about the length of the rooms. It's like gaming. If you ever see people who game hardcore, or if you go on Twitch and watch the streaming on Twitch, you'll be surprised. You will all your beliefs about the limit of human attention and endurance will be dispelled by the gaming and Twitch world. But even those worlds didn't prepare me for what's happening at Clubhouse. And I feel like a lot of black people just aren't used to feeling heard in general. So combine that with this space where you can just reach so many people at once. And some people I think is going to their heads. So there's some people I see like in a couple of weeks, they have like 5, 6, 7, 8,000 followers. Like every time I check, week by week, I'm like, damn, this person, when I first saw them, they're like 300. So I think a lot of these people, they're getting that sense of importance on top of that. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, folks come in from different time zones and stuff. Like there are people who rotate in and out, including moderators, but there are people who will sit through the whole thing. And the same guy, when he was talking, he was saying stuff like, yo, I was in this room. I wasn't moderating this one, but I was in there, and it was like an 8-hour room. And I went to the stage, and I was waiting like 3 hours to talk. And when I finally talked, I was attacked. I was like, damn, 3 hours. Like, I'm not gonna sit there 3 hours waiting to talk. In that case, the room's too big for me. Yeah, yeah. So he said this. I modded the room for a few hours. Later, found out it was on for like 24 hours. Yeah, the 24-hour one, someone probably rotated out. But I was thinking, man, forget work. Say you're working at home, you got a job where you can put it on the background or mod, or you can multitask. But like when you see your kids, like what? When you take a break? Yeah, so it's like I like giving out the invites because I think there is a positive space to be carved out on there, but I'm also seeing the downside of it, and I feel like, maybe I should like have some kind of questionnaire before I let people give them invites because I don't want to give it to somebody to find out they're one of the 18-hour people. I feel like that someone got someone hooked on crack. I feel like the guy gave Bubbles his first hit of heroin in The Wire or something. So it's like I try to use it now. I try to use it now as a very with a lot of intentionality, or I use it for research. Like it's nice to be a fly in the wall and find out like a lot of the people we talk about in the show as far as the type of person. When you hear them talk amongst each other, you find out a lot of the theories in the show are totally true. If you're on Clubhouse and you see that to M Openly Black Room, everything we said is true. Thank you for the donations. Real quick house cleaning for people who, yeah, thank you, Rock the Mic, for people who don't know, because I don't think I did it yet. But if you want to support us, the next thing we're trying to get is one of those standalone cameras, like what those nice YouTubers have. So the ones that stay in the side. So what you would see is just basically the whole desk and the um, computer and everything, because we're trying to upgrade. So yeah, if you want to Venmo or Cash App at Champagne Sharks, hit us on PayPal at this address or at champagnesharks at Gmail, or hit the super chat in the bottom. If you look at the dollar sign in the live chat section, that's how you super chat, and we'll read your comment on air within reason, as long as you're not saying crazy trolly stuff. We'll read it, and of course, like, comment, share, subscribe, share this with on your social medias, on your message boards, text it to your friends. Let's get some people up in here. Let's get over 100 people up in here. Yeah, but at the very least, we always appreciate the sharing. Anyway, back to business. Um, anecdotes, hilarious. Yeah. Oh man, it's nuts. Yeah, it's against the rules to screen record, but I actually screen record it. At this point, I think it'll be like a low-key favor they kick me out, because it's kind of depressing. So now I'm not that invested enough where I even really care that much if they throw me out. So uh yeah, people get professional headshots done on there. There's a lot of scammers. Let me see if this room, let me, just out of curiosity, I went to that Mediaite site. It's still frozen and loading. That, I wonder if it's because so many people are going to the page too. I wonder if that's slowing down the page. I'm not good with the internet science. I know sometimes when a lot of people slam a page, it has trouble loading in general, like coming up. Like you get a error. But I don't know if sometimes the page loads up, but you literally can't move. Oh my God! I just checked. It's now trending in America. Openly Black and Don Lemon. Both terms are trending. If you just want to see just how nutty this is as far as disproportional, um, so check it out. Look right here. Um, Openly Black is trending, and did Don Lemon disappear? Don Lemon was there a second ago. I refreshed it. They probably merged Don Lemon with it, because they do that sometimes. If two trending topics are redundant. So I just refreshed it. On the right side where the cursor is, you can see I'm highlighting Openly Black, but before it said Openly Black, and then below it said Don Lemon, and then they probably merged into one. But it was trending that much. It actually took up two. It took up two trending topics. It was that bad. But I want to show this tweet by friend of the show M2 again, and this ties into all of this. Yeah, it's a great place to ear hustle. I've ear hustled on a lot of those this is violence type Tumblr activists, and that's been a revelation. I've ear hustled on a lot of untalented 10th Wakandans, and like tonight, and it's great for that. And it's also made me realize a lot of our taxonomies and dissections of different types of people was not only more right than I ever thought, but on top of that, I think I went too easy. I really underestimated the pathology here. But Mtume Gant said this in response to something that Jamel Hill did during the riots. And this is what I mean about these people could take any big systemic issue and turn it into this kind of narcissistic, self-aggrandizing, navel-gazing activism. Mtume says this is all a part of the black elite's fantasia that white violence is only ever a response to black bourgeois social mobility. Get some history in your head, homie. He said that in response to Jamel Hill. This is the tweet Jamel Hill wrote. Just a reminder that this all started because a black man won the presidency. She's blaming the Capitol riots as something that's happening because a black man won the presidency. And this is what I meant about that guy last night, the one that I said was a despicable coward and he is a sellout and all that stuff, but at least he understands the stakes better, even though his only answer to the stakes is to try to become Steven from Django. But he's like, slavery's coming back. These people, them white boys are love to spill blood. These people got guns, they're serious and all that stuff. In the midst of the Capitol thing, her takeaway from it is this started because of Obama. That's when it started. Nuts that is. So basically, they are as invested as white liberals in this post-racial fantasia and this idea that, these are kind of liberals who say things with no irony, like, these riots don't represent what America is. Let's get back to America. These riots, this is not who we are. Is we sick, boss? That type of stuff. They was delusional and invested in a certain myth of white supremacy that their white liberal peers and allies are. But there's another reason why they say stuff like this. Why they're so ahistorical? Because first off, I think they're very fragile in general, the untalented tenth, and they don't really want to understand. Everyone should read by E. Franklin Frazier the book Black Bourgeoisie. Black Bourgeoisie was a very formative book for me. There's another book that's very good called Rage of a Privileged Class by Ellis Cose, Cose. Those two books, a lot of our show and a lot of me will make a lot of sense to you if you read those books. We're going to do them in book club. If you become a patron, you can read along with us and we're going to discuss it. But those are both very good books, especially because one was in the 50s, one was in the 80s, and they both could basically apply today. It just kind of shows how this is not a new thing. But first off, if she says it's as bad as it is, that this is the essence of America, this is an extension of America, this is part of a 400, 500 year continuity, and Obama was the anomaly. And let's be honest, not that much of an anomaly, a continuation of it, just in blackface to a degree, a cope. Then what is what she's doing? What is her personal project? What does their group project mean of just getting a few jobs here and there? It renders them ridiculous and inadequate a response, and also shows them as complicit in a way, because what are you fighting to be the first part of, the first black the first black president, the first black senator, the first black vice president of these places? If what you're living in is not a good system, but with some bad apples, or a few moral lapses, right? If your system is that, just something, an overall good system, overall self-correcting system, but one that has had a lot of progress, in no small part due to you, and one that is self-correcting and ultimately, when working fine, a bastion of justice, then you partaking in that system and being the first this or that in it, or making inroads into it, becomes honorable. It becomes self-aggrandizing. You get to paint yourself as the conscience. You could say, I'm the reason why it's self-correcting. These other people are when it goes bad. But as long as you keep giving me jobs, you keep giving me power, I am the conscience of the system. Black women will save everybody. This black man is Captain America who saved the Capitol. Like, they like that narrative because it validates their existence and their project of striving. They get to put a noble face and noble rationale on the striving. But if what you are is not that system, but if you admit to yourself you're in a refined version of Nazi Germany, but one that has managed to hide itself at the end of the day, or if you are a member of, if you're a part of the Confederacy, then now you're like Clayton Bigsby. Maybe you're a liberal Clayton Bigsby, but you're still a Clayton Bigsby. You're an NPR tote bag uh, equivalent of Clayton Bigsby. I mean, that's part of the reason why that Tommy Christopher guy, the white liberal who wrote the article, got so mad at Don Lemon for pointing out that this was supporting Trump is the same as trying to say I'm a good Nazi supporter or I'm not one of the bad supporters of the Nazi government. And to Don's credit, I don't like to give Don Lemon a lot of credit, but he was spitting some real shit with that one. And that's why the white liberal who wrote that article, Mediaite, is usually one of those Fox News bashing, you know, centrist liberal like bastions. That's why they turned on him. Like, think about it. They turned on him for going on Trump supporters. And the reason they turned on him, and unfortunately I can't pull up the article because the site is shit, but that was why they did that. And they openly black thing, I think, was to kind of call them out, as in you should kind of know your place and follow the white liberal talking point. But what I found so interesting about it was none of these Wakandans talked about the overall gist of the article and whether Don Lemon was right or not, or the substance of it. They just got triggered by the openly black thing and being reminded that Don Lemon was black. And they didn't care about the other stuff, partially because I think they think things like this, like what Jamel Hill put here, that, like, I don't think they even agree. Like, to me, I'm more offended that they're questioning Don Lemon's premise than the openly black thing. I think they themselves don't even agree with Don Lemon's premise. Because, okay, if what you're living in is Nazi Germany, the modern equivalent, or the Confederacy, then what are you fighting to be included in? What are you fighting for diversity and equity in? You know, like, picture a Jewish person saying, yeah, I was the first Jewish person to get a clerical job in the Nazi government back in the 40s. Like, no one's gonna look at you and say, wow, you really were doing great stuff, man. You really were fighting the power. Yeah. Them white boys like to spill blood. The Afro Pessimist Manifesto. Yeah, a lot of people thought I was trying to put some kind of praise on the guy last night, and I wasn't. He's a scumbag, but he at least appreciates the scope of the problem more than Jamel Hill. And truth be told, if the Jamel Hills and the untalented 10 types of the world appreciated the problem to the extent that he did, they might be a lot different themselves. They might show their ass a lot more too, to be honest. I think the extent to which they're better revolves around their type of classist delusions and things that guy doesn't have. That guy, I think he knows he's not going to ever be the first black anything appointed by a liberal to do anything. So he might as well overturn the whole table and just bring slavery back. Because at least if slavery comes back, he has a chance of being, the head overseer on the Epps plantation from 12 Years a Slave. Right now, we're on the Benedict Cumberbatch plantation from 12 Years a Slave. He's got no inroads to that. But that type of plantation is the kind that a black person who's on it can fool themselves about. And that's kind of what happened to the 12 Years a Slave guy. He got comfortable in that Benedict Cumberbatch plantation. But then when it came time to actually help him, the Benedict Cumberbatch guy couldn't follow through. And he admitted he knew all along that he didn't belong there in the plantation as a slave, and that the plantation system to a degree was wrong, but he didn't have the guts to face it. So basically, the Benedict Cumberbatch type, which is stands for the white liberal, they're not willing to fix their own plantation or get rid of a plantation system overall. They just pat themselves on the back and are happy for being able to call themselves a good part of the plantation. Yeah, so Yeah, delusional and learned helplessness and stuff. But yeah, I mean, yeah, they are out of control on that side. But this is the other thing, right? If you can convince yourself that this all started because the black man won the presidency, you're able to tell yourself you're winning. You're able to tell yourself, hey, this is not just a pissing in the ocean. Because here's the other option. The other option is, okay, this is the country we've always been, and this is an extension of the past 500 years. And they just voted the open white supremacists in office, and they're willing to storm the Capitol for this. All this progress you've done, Jamel Hill, all the progress you blue checks have done is just nothing. It's window dressing. You're impotent. You're nothing. Um, all you did was just enrich your own pockets and get nice things, right? But you're utterly inconsequential in the overall course of history. You haven't really done much, and not much has changed from the 60s. You're an irrelevant civil rights generation. You know, you've just presided over a refining of the plantation system that was put in place after civil rights. They readjusted and reconfigured the plantation around civil rights time to make it more palatable to the slaves. They said we're going to be less of an Epps plantation and more of a Benedict Cumberbatch plantation. And you reached that crisis point where the 12 Years a Slave guy character did, when he realized, damn, at the end of the day, this is still a fucking plantation, you know? And it's even worse because this plantation got me comfortable and gave me hope. And this is your cope. This is a cope. And what this cope says is, no, we, and in this case, she's making Obama an avatar for her and her class. We did more than this. We actually had white supremacy on the ropes. That's what somebody said in that clubhouse room about I too am openly black in response to the Don Lemon article. One actually said, yeah, we got white supremacy on the ropes and we have to keep on. And I'm like, dude, you are fucking delusional. White supremacy can absorb thousands, millions of you. You guys are a de-radicalizing force. You're a force. You're allowed to exist because you serve a purpose for white supremacy. You're part of the cost of doing business. We have to let a couple of y'all in and up high to keep the whole system going. The only difference between the Epps plantation, which is the conservatives or the Trump types, and the Benedict Cumberbatch plantation, which is the liberals, is that it's a disagreement over the cost of doing business. One wants to have white supremacy without having to spend a lot, and one wants to maintain white supremacy, anti-blackness, but is willing to make a lot more concessions to make it run. Like, their thing to the Epps plantation is, you can't run it like this. It's unsustainable like this if you don't give people any hope. It's kind of like the corporation that quote unquote spoils its employees because it would rather make some concessions to the employees and make up the money in the back end, but have a smooth running business than the corporation that tries to go overboard to stamp out the unions, to lobby labor law and do all this stuff, and then they end up creating a strong, vibrant labor movement. Whether it's the labor movement or whether it's civil rights, the most extreme radical uprisings and rebellions and biggest paradigm shifting social changes happened under the most oppressive regimes. But the regime that's able to understand the cost of doing business, yeah, uncomfortable they are around family. They don't like being around too many blacks at once without a white audience. Yeah, for sure. Well, they don't mind being around a lot of black people without a white audience if it's other black people like them who are tokens as well, because then they get to work with each other as a support group. So their all black spaces are just basically support groups for why don't white people love us enough? Why are we always being reminded we're black, or in this case, openly black? I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm spitting hot fire tonight. I feel like I'm in the zone. I'm not a pat yourself on the back kind of guy, but I think this is a good one, and I think y'all should share it with people, get people in here. because we're gonna go a little deeper. There's someone said plantation reform. I've been like looking up stuff and lining up things to put up. So unfortunately, I haven't been reading all of your comments, but you guys are. I'm looking now, and you guys are bringing the heat too, man. I love you guys. These comments are really good, and I appreciate all of you. Thank you. I think iron sharpens iron, and you guys do a lot to keep me sharp. So I definitely appreciate that. So this is the other thing. Last thing I'm gonna say about this quote. Um, and actually, I'm not gonna go on too much longer. I'm gonna continue this tomorrow instead of making this like super long. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop with the Jamel Hill thing. There's more tabs. There's more things open, but I'm gonna save them for tomorrow. I'm doing daily streams. I don't have to get it all out at once the way I used to. So I got to break that habit. But um, as usual, if you enjoy what we're saying, hit the super chat. Hit us up in that scroll below. We always appreciate your support. And also, my dream is for all the champagne sharks to quit their day jobs. So everything you do helps with that, because then we can really, really get a platform going and have a lot of plans. A lot of plans if we can make that happen. But this is the other thing. Not only does what she put up here allow her to over congratulate herself and her own cast, and it's a cope, but if this is a reaction to the incredible change that tokenism has done, that Black excellence has done, that representationalism has done, this emboldens them to double down. So the other way, the idea that no, this was really just a refined version of the Epps plantation, the Cumberbatch plantation, the Epps plantation are just all basically parts of the same system, and it's all shit. And you getting a house nigga job at the Epps plantation doesn't do shit or mean anything in the grand scheme of things, even for yourself. It doesn't even protect you. The same way ESPN and white liberals and the corporations drew Jamel Hill to the side when she spoke out against the Epps plantation as a Trump thing, that it bought her no protection. When she tried to get out of line, they slapped her back in line. The good whites slapped her back in line just as fast as, well, a little bit slower than the so-called bad whites, you know. But that was her moment where she was like Solomon Northup when he realized that Benedict Cumberbatch wasn't going to save him from being sold, or that Benedict Cumberbatch wasn't going to give him special treatment. He was just, at the end of the day, another nigger. Not only is it a cope for that, but this gives them license to double down. If what we're doing is a historic change with our striving, with our bourgeois striving, that it's got white supremacy on the ropes. And if this is not white supremacy always reminding us where we've always actually been and dispelling an illusion and letting us know that the problem is more severe than we thought. If this is actually the last gasp of white supremacy and it happened from Black bourgeois striving, then what's the solution? What's the takeaway? We've got to strive harder. This means we've really got, now we got to get another Black president. Now we have to get more Black blue checks, more striving. This is how Black thinking is constantly underdeveloped. It is allowed to exist to the extent it never goes beyond a certain level of abstraction. Never goes beyond a certain level of abstraction and awareness. If you get too concrete, too aware, you're not going to get very, very. Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. But you guys are on fire too, man. I really. And again, I'm in a zone right now. I could do like a 3-hour joint, but I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. Yeah, so much good input and lived experience. Yes, I've been in Clubhouse too long. I'm yeah. So anyway, we have book club at 9 p.m. So I can't go on even if I wanted to. I don't want to do that. I already made the people in the book club wait an hour so we can do the stream, and I don't want to keep them going. So I'm not gonna keep going, but it's going to only make the product better because I'm actually going to set up everything in a Google document so that I won't have to look around. I'm going to try to get that site up in a way so that we don't have to go on the website. I'll get it printed to a PDF, so I'm going to use this to actually refine the rest of what we have to say. But on the way out, feel free to support us. Feel free to like the comments on the way out. It's all good. It's all good. Anyone who goes to the clubhouse knows that there's a lot of heavy hitters here tonight for sure. Yo, thanks everybody for letting me up on stage. I want to talk about my Bitcoin business. I'm a Bitcoin masseuse. I massage Bitcoins for clients. Yeah, the book is still settlers. This is the final night. Oh, dude, rock the mic. I'm gonna keep a couple minutes longer. I was gonna get out, but rock the mic. Just went in there in the openly black room. It was truly nauseating. Rock the mic. Am I exaggerating? Tell the people if I'm exaggerating about. And this is what I was saying. This is the only good purpose left of Clubhouse, is that it's a good place to be a fly in the wall. I've realized I haven't been going hard enough. I realized I've actually given extended people too much grace to a certain degree. I think they actually believe their bullshit, and that's scarier than the previous thing I had, where I thought they kind of knew to some degree that I think they are aware that the whole belief system is bullshit, but I think it's way more submerged than I first thought. And the cope is way harder. Yeah, but yeah, rock the mic if you want. Rock the mic if you want to build on it. Please let me know. Always some heavy hitter. This is very true. Kwame Ture has been telling us to organize for 70-something years. What more is there to discuss? Rehashing the same conversations that have been had for nearly 2,000 years. Let me show you two things before I go. This is very good. And check this out. I'm going to show you guys something real good before we go. Let's get this Jamal Hill thing off the screen. And I'm going to show you two good parting things. First off, when I said that guy yesterday was on point about the black people being more concerned with him than with the white supremacists, and again, I was not defending the guy as a good guy. He's a piece of garbage, but I did think he had a point. And I always say we are way too into calling out coons, and I'm guilty of it too. Like, I spent a lot of time on these black blue checks, and someone might argue, but I try to always ultimately focus on white supremacy and how they're a part of it. They're just kind of minions. I don't make the Candace Owens or the Professor Crunks the main focus of this. Like, it's kind of like how people went in so much harder on Kanye West than they went on Trump a lot of the times. But I'm gonna pull up. This was the thing that Andre had last night that disappeared. I found it. I had him sent it to me. He took it off of Twitter, but I had him send it to me. And this is Kwame Ture talking about something that I think applies to what that guy was saying when he was outraged. He's like, you guys are looking at me and complaining that, I trolled on Facebook and stuff like that, and you have your backs to the white supremacists, and the white supremacists could kill both of us. You remember when he said that, right? Watch last night's video if you don't remember what I'm talking about. But listen to this. I think it's on the screen right now, and I think where he dropped, it's only 1 minute and 38 seconds.
Now, we must tell you in our analysis, we do not make the errors that others do. Anytime you make an analysis of an oppressed people in any aspect of their life and you leave out the enemy, you will never come to a correct analysis. On the contrary, you will blame the oppressed for all of their problems. Therefore, we tell you from the very beginning, we've never taken the line of others that the biggest problem that we have is we ourselves. No, our biggest problem is our enemy, capitalism, and it must be destroyed. We say any...
And in his weird, warped way, that guy from last night, in a weird, he phrased it in a disgusting, anti-black way, but in a weird way, he kind of horseshoed to Kwame Ture, and he even included himself. He's like, you're turning your back on these white boys, they can kill me, you, and all of us.
We say any analysis you make of an oppressed people must include the oppressor, otherwise you will come up with an incorrect analysis blaming the oppressed for their position of oppression. Even if one were to talk about the drugs in our community, if you just talk about drugs and not talk about the enemy, you make no analysis at all. Or you may sound serious saying about, well, you know, the trouble with our kids is that all they're doing is fighting for drugs and shooting each other for drugs, and I wish they would stop. If you haven't brought in the question of who brings the drugs in, why the drugs are brought in, for what purpose they're brought in, you will never understand the problem at all. Thus, we make it clear to each and every one, when we speak of the conditions of the African masses, we begin from the very beginning with the enemy of the African masses, all unjust system that seeks to exploit us, capitalism, and especially the racist capitalist system in the United States of America.
Now, last night when I was talking about that guy, and I was saying that he's right. Why are people focusing in? And even to extent, you know, when I talk about these blue checks and whatever, I'm probably guilty of it to a degree, but I try not to be. I try to be conscious of it. I try to be self-correcting. But, you know, some people are defending, goes, no, he's a bigger problem than the white people, you know, and you know, he's such a traitor and stuff. Was, yeah, but the traitor, it's like getting mad at the slave catcher more than the slave. And we do that a lot. We do that a lot. We get more angry at the slave. I mean, we do it a lot. Look at the movie Harriet. The slave catcher, the black slave catcher, was a bigger villain than the white slave master Bay. You know? He was narratively a bigger villain. And you know, we did it with Kanye, and people are going so in on Kanye. What does Kanye even do at the end of the day that really moves the needle? You know, he's not passing laws. He doesn't run anything. Same thing, the whole idea when you see all these people act like cishet black men are the biggest oppressor on earth. What did he even run? What did he even control? You know, like they're getting shot by the police and they're in jail. They're inconsequential at the end of the day. All you gotta do is call the cops once, and whatever cishet black male problem you have in your life, that's the one time the police can work as a black person's personal army, is when it's time to call it on a cishet black man. So yeah, give me a break. Yeah, Azalea Banks, all that stuff. A lot of people know who the enemy is. Just acknowledging it will be a total life-changing experience, which a lot aren't ready for. Not just that, but they're in the same position as that guy from last night, except they're lying about it. They want to work for their enemy. They're praying like the guy from last night is, that when that plantation comes into being, they're going to be given a position where they can crack the whip on all the black people. Like those people who hate cishet black men, they're dying for the chance to be appointed the manager of black people by Elizabeth Warren or some other hoodwink white liberal that they have curried favor with, and praying for the chance to be the one to say it's quitting time and to crack the whip. So yeah, not only is it a life-changing experience that they're not ready for, they believe they have an incentive, because like Solomon Northrop on the Cumberbatch plantation, he thinks that he's immune. He thinks he's too smart, too clever, too much of an exceptional Negro to yeah. Have you ever seen a photo of Jay-Z in a room with an infinitely more powerful white man? He looks like a confused child. It's hilarious in the worst way. Yeah, I mean, you see that a lot in clubhouse rooms. You go in clubhouse rooms. I've been in clubhouse rooms where on the stage, they have like a heavy hitter room, but actual heavy hitters like billionaires and Mark Cuban and all these people. And then some like dude with a barbershop hustler, rise and grind, cryptocurrency, Reiki healing business. Like, you know, I coordinate the crypto market and the Bitcoin prices on a special astrological chart that I then use Reiki healing on to then come up with new ways to empower your hustle. You know, like that dude, he'll be on a serious stage with Mark Cuban talking about, you know, he got the mic. Yeah, there's a lot of heavy hitters up in his room. You know, thanks, yo. Acting like he's peers with Mark Cuban, and this gives the most ridiculous advice. Like, one thing that helped me was I started the YouTube page, and you'd be surprised. And I'm like, oh my God, you're really delusional. Like, what are you even doing on the stage? And the people would be really polite and let them talk, you know? But yeah, we've got a lot of delusion going on. And I said there was two things I wanted to show. Yeah, but anyway, I forgot the second one. I'll be honest. I was gonna try to lie and fake it, but I forgot what the second one is. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is true. This is true as well. Like people came for Jeremy Harris, but forgot that Jake Gyllenhaal. I didn't go for Jake Gyllenhaal, but I went for the white people in general because I think it's even bigger than Gyllenhaal. To be honest, I don't even really go for Jake Gyllenhaal either because it existed before Jake Gyllenhaal. It's part of a big white liberal project, and I think even Jake Gyllenhaal is just following suit. At the end of the day, I don't think Jake Gyllenhaal is that much higher than Jeremy Harris in this big picture, to be honest. I mean, he's an actor. We forget how powerless actors are because they're so famous. But to me, there's bigger money behind Jake Gyllenhaal in all this. Yeah. Yeah. So I agree with you, Chaotic Goods. Don't get me wrong. I know that I disagree with you. I'm just saying I would even go higher than Jake Gyllenhaal. But you're right. Jake Gyllenhaal still was way more insulated. You're not wrong. Jake Gyllenhaal was still way more insulated than Jeremy or Harris is. Like a lot of people didn't go for Jake Gyllenhaal. All right, guys. Thanks. It's 9 o'clock. Going to book club. Yeah, they're all glorified prostitutes. Yep, it's all true. Thanks everybody. Be good. Um, hit us up any way you can, and I'm going to continue this tomorrow. We're going to make a couple days out of this, so I won't have to keep hitting you with 2-3 hour rooms. All right. So be good. Take care.